Hi there, Linda here. Our module today is called Sweet Hand Care, and this is a basic chair yoga module where we'll be sitting down for the whole time. So as you can see, I've got my chair set up behind me as well as a stool and a ball, and I'll meet you over there in just a second. See you then. I've moved the camera in quite close today so that you'll be able to see better what I'm doing. And I have this nice ottoman that I've brought in from my living room, but you could use any kind of stool or even go over to a table for this part of it. You don't necessarily have to carry some furniture around. And then I have a ball, and you can use any kind of ball that's a little bit squishy. This is a dog chew toy that I got from the dollar store. And you can see it's got all kinds of texture on it and little gaps in between, but you don't specifically need something like this. You can use anything like a road hockey ball, tennis ball, something of that size and shape that you can hold in your hand, and it has a little bit of give to it. And just your chair, and I'm on my mat, but that is even not really necessary for this yoga video. So let's go ahead. Starting out, forming our hands into fists with the thumb wrapped around the outside. And imagining that you have around you a big vat of the thickest molasses you have ever seen. And just moving your arms through this vat, pushing through, swirling your wrists around, moving your elbows and shoulders, and reaching up and down out to the side. Your arms can be doing the same thing, or you can have them doing something completely different. And just take this video at your own pace. It's going to be quite gentle, but if there's anything that you need to take a break from, or take it slower, or do an easier version, just go ahead and do that. And now bring your fists up in front of your shoulders. And then stretch your fingertips out as far as you can. Bring them back into the fist. And do this flicking in and out. Try and do it faster, faster, as if you're flicking paint onto your Jackson Pollock painting. Just keep this going a little bit longer, faster, faster. And then just give your wrists a nice shake out. Whew. All right, now bring your hands together, interlocking your fingers and having your thumb and your fingers resting on the outside. And bring your elbows up to about chest height so that your hands are just in front of your chest, but not touching. And then start to circle your wrists around. Just noticing what your range of motion might be here. And then pick up your two thumbs. See if you can do this. Set them back down. Lift up your index fingers and your middle fingers. Sometimes more fingers will lift up at the same time to help you. Then your ring fingers, and then your pinky fingers. And then just flatten your hands coming into a prayer pose and press into your hands here. Notice if you can do a 90-degree bend in your wrists or what it might be and how this feels. And then maybe try this with the back of your hands, pressing in more gently and just noticing what mobility you have here. Bring your hands out separated and see if you can circle your thumbs around. Then your index finger, middle finger, ring finger. It's funny how they all have their nicknames. Pinky finger, Now, whatever direction you were circling the first time, circle the other way with your pinky finger, then your ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and your thumb. Notice any creaking and cracking as you do this. I'm hearing these sounds like popcorn popping. Now take your ball. Start out with your dominant hand, whatever that may be, and squeeze your fingers into the ball a little bit, maintaining that grip. And bring your hand up, bending your elbow. And you could use your other arm to support your elbow. And just try to circle around with that wrist, keeping that slight pressure into the ball with your fingers. And then see if you can circle the other way. And then can you kind of lean your hand back and just hold the ball there, opening up your hand, and try that again. Now switch over to the other hand, circling around a few times in the first direction. Taking your time with this. Keep gentle pressure of your fingers being engaged. And then see if you can open your palm up without losing the ball. I almost lost it there. Once or twice. And then set the ball down. Lean above your ottoman, stool, table, whatever you're doing. And if you have walked over to a table, then you can just stand up and lean onto it, trying to not have too much pressure. I'm actually going to demonstrate this, so you might not be able to see my head, but I will do it this way. Trying to have a little bit of pressure, but not too much from your shoulders right down into your hands. And then having your hands right under your shoulders to start with. Start to gradually walk your hands, turning them in a little bit more with each step. And if there's too much pressure on your wrists here, just lean your torso back a bit. Keep going until you go as far inward as you're able to. And it might be different from one hand to the other. And then turn your way back. Keep going once you get back to center, turning your hands out now. And maybe adjusting the pressure on your hands to be a little lighter as you do this. See how far you can go turning it this way, externally rotating. And then walk your way back. Now turn onto the back of your hands. Even less pressure here as you walk these around. And maybe start walking your hands all around your surface. And if you're using a small footstool, you might want to switch to something that gives you a little bit more room. And then bring your hands back underneath you. Spread your fingers out a little and press your forefingers and these knuckles into your surface, but keep your thumb neutral. So you're pressing down with these. Again, you can adjust your posture, leaning over your hands more for more pressure, leaning back for less pressure. And now lift up the heel of your hand, bringing your thumb up with you. And then lower that down. And we'll try to do about 8 of these. And you should really notice the muscles in your forearms firing up as you do this. And if it's getting a bit too intense to do 8 of these, then try just to back off a little. This is a great way to keep your hands flexible and your forearms, and can help improve conditions if you're having any carpal tunnel problems. And then just shake this out. And if you're standing up, come back to sit down. Roll your hands up into a fist so that it looks like a little bud. And engage all your fingers so that you're kind of squeezing the skin and muscles in towards the bones, and keep that engagement. And as you do that, slowly start to unwrap, like a rosebud is blossoming into a flower. Slowly, slowly, keeping your fingers engaged. Open up. And then close this back up. Open up one more time. Are all your fingers acting independently? Do some of them lean against other fingers? Squeeze them in and then let them relax. Now bring your fingertips. Hold your hands just lightly out in front of you. Bring your index finger to touch your thumb, then your middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. And now, starting with your thumb and working towards your baby pinky finger, touch each one down into your palm if you can. Go back the other way. Now, maybe add a little challenge for your brain as well, where you would put, say, for example, your index finger on one hand and your pinky finger on the other hand, and keep switching around, choosing different fingers from different hands. See if your brain, oh, I switched back to doing the same ones. You have to really focus on this. And try that another few seconds. Oh, I keep switching back to the same ones. Oh, very challenging. Give that a shake. And then take your palm, just do this with one hand at a time, and look at your pinky finger mound and the mound of your thumb, and try it and curl your hand up to bring those closer together. You're not trying to bring your finger and thumb to touch anymore. Just trying to curve your hands so that it looks a little bit like a taco. And then turn your hand over, bending your wrist so that now this looks like a duck's head. If you were making shadow puppets, it would probably look like that. And then turn your hand around, moving your wrist in a different way this time. And then with the other hand, try and find your taco shape, bringing your baby finger mound closer to your thumb mound, making a curve in your hand, and then turn this over, bending your wrist. So this looks like the head of a duck, and then curve this around. And then just to end off, imagine you have some nice thick lotion, or maybe get some actual lotion. That would be a treat for your hands later in the day. Just give them some love, rubbing up and down your forearms, into your wrists, the back of your hands, your thumb, and each finger. And just do this on both hands. This is the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It feels good on your hands, and it's something that you can return to keep your mobility maintaining it and improving it over time. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.